Got a half-packed duffel on the backseat floor, old worn boots by the motel door. Key turned in a car that barely starts, but it's still got more fight than my heart. Town in the mirror getting small and thin. Welcome back soon on the faded sign again, but I ain't coming back the same. This time I'm driving through the shame. There's hope on the dusty highway, riding shotgun with the pain I've known. Every mile that I keep on driving leaves another ghost back home. Sun sinking low, then it climbs again, like it's saying, boy, this ain't the end. I don't know where I'll lay my head today, but there's hope on the dusty highway. Radio static, then a steel guitar, some stranger's heartbreak in a pickup bar. Funny how a story sounds like mine till the chorus hits a different line. He sings, you're stronger than your worst mistake, you're more than every bridge you break. I turn it up and roll the glass, let that truth blow through my past. The white lines glowing like a prayer, pulling me out of that old despair. There's hope on the dusty highway, in every long stretch of open road, every dotted line in the middle of nowhere, every sunrise on a worn-out soul. Oh, I ain't done and I ain't defined by the wrecks I left behind. I was lost, but now I'm on my way, chasing hope on the dusty highway. Someday I'll find a little town where the weight I carry finally sets down. I'll build a life with steady hands on ground that finally understands. I'll park this truck in a gravel drive, hear kids laughing in a screen door slide, tell them stories of a younger man who learned to try again and again. And when they ask what got me through, I'll smile and tell them, so did you. 'Cause I kept driving toward that day, believing love was on this way. There's hope on the dusty highway. I ain't lost, I'm on my way.
Paint is peeling off the south side wall, rust runs red down the metal stall. Daddy's hat still hangs on a nail, like it's waiting on a wind-blown tail. There's a busted rake and an old feed sack, spider web threads in the ceiling cracks. I thought this place was dead and done, till I saw it in the rising sun. Every scar in this timber frame caught a spark of golden flame. Morning light on the old barn turns broken boards into a brand new star. Dust in the air like 1,000 tiny stars floating through the rafters of my heart. I was sure this farm had lost its song, thought the good days were all long gone, but hope came slipping through the dark with morning light on the old barn. Mama hums in the kitchen door, coffee brewing like it did before. Radio low on a gospel tune, roosters bragging at the moon. Bank took half of what we own, left us standing in a weathered home. But her soft good morning cuts right through, saying, girl, the Lord ain't done with you. I feel it in the creak of every beam. This old life's not just a rusted dream. Morning light mercy, drawing little hearts. We ain't rich, but we ain't done. We're still planting under the sun, and I know we'll mend each broken part with morning light on the old barn. Hope don't shout, it whispers low in chip red paint and melting snow, in mama's hands and daddy's tools, and showing up and staying true. One day my kids will drive this lane, ask why the roof still shows the rain. I'll smile and say we almost lost it all, but love held up these crooked walls. We'll hang new doors, we'll paint it white, fill these stalls with a younger life. And when they ask where strength came from, I'll point them to the rising sun. Morning light on the old barn. That's all we need to carry on. That's all we need to carry on. That's all we need to carry on.
Frost on the fence line, breath in the air, silence hanging like a country prayer. The last of the stars aches into blue, a world awakening slow like my heart does too. Tractor tracks frozen in the dirt, memories buried deeper than the hurt. Lost a good crop, lost my will, stared at this land and stood there still. Then a thin streak of color cut through the cold, soft as a promise, too quiet to hold. Sunrise over empty fields turns quiet ground into a church of steel. Every blade of grass catching fire, whispering you ain't done, you're just tired. I thought this dirt would never heal, just a rose of loss, nothing real. But mercy spills in orange and gold with sunrise over empty fields. Bankman's knock still in my head, numbers burning like a fever bed. Friends moved on when the well ran dry. I stayed rooted under this sky. There were nights I thought of walking out, letting go, giving in to doubt. But something in the cold night air held me back like a quiet prayer. And now that light on the horizon feels like eyes that never close. Sunrise over empty fields says broken ground can still yield. Maybe not corn, maybe not grain, but a softer heart after the rain. I stand here with this coffee cup, watching hope slowly rise up. Guess there's more to what God builds in learned how faith can still prevail. So I lace my boots and face the roads, even if nothing decides to grow. Every morning I'll be right here, trusting light to chase my fear. 'Cause if the sun keeps showing up, so can I with this busted cup? Empty fields and open skies, where I meet hope with open eyes. Sunrise over empty fields, that's where my tomorrows see. Pulled in slow by the county line sign, same bent post, same faded white. Neon glow from the bar on the hill. I swore I'd never come back, but here I am still. Years ago I left this place with a chip on my shoulder and rage in my face. Burned my bridges at the local dive, dared the night to keep me alive. But time's got a way of changing men, like rain softens dirt roads again. Second chance is a county line where my worst mistakes and my hope collide. I walk back in with my head hung low and a heart that finally wanted to grow. That bartender I once cursed out poured me water and said, no doubt, kid, you look like you're trying to do things right. That's grace in a neon light. Saw my old flame at the corner booth, laughed lines deeper, eyes more true. We didn't kiss, we didn't fight, just shared a nod in the jukebox light. She said, you look different, a little less wild. I said, I learned how to lose my pride. We raised a glass to who we were and all the hurt that didn't own us anymore. Forgiveness tastes like simple beer when you've been thirsty for years and years. Second chance is a county line where apologies land and anger dies, where a stubborn boy becomes a man who can finally say, I understand. This tiny town I used to hate held out its hand at the old front gate. Sometimes heaven feels like a Saturday night in gray-soaked neon light. I used to think I had to run to be some legend on the gun. Turns out the bravest thing I'd do was come back home and tell the truth. Now I help close up some nights, sweep the floors neath those colored lights. I watch kids lean on the same old bar, and I pray they don't fall as hard. If one of them stumbles like I did, I'll be there to talk that kid off the ledge. 'Cause I'm living proof you can rewind out by the county line. Second chance is a county line. Feels like a miracle in a small town sign.
Thunder shook these trailer walls, rain like bullets, angry and tall. We huddled close on the kitchen floor, kids counting seconds between the roars. The wind ripped branches from the trees, sirens howling through the streets. Lights went out but your hand found mine. We held on tight to the thin lifeline. I whispered, if we make it through, I'll spend my whole life thanking you. Blue sky after the storm, cracked clouds letting sunlight pour over rooftops, bent and torn, but our little hearts reborn. We lost some shingles and a fence, but we kept our love and common sense. When the worst came in its darkest form, we found a blue sky after the storm. Morning showed the damage clear, broken glass and scattered years. A neighbor's house without a roof, church steeple bent but still it stood. We passed out coffee, shared what we had, hugged each other through the sad. In the mess of branches, mud and wire, we saw kindness spread like fire. Sometimes you need a raging night to see who stays and holds the light. Blue sky after the storm, where tired souls can be transformed into hands that build and hearts that warm. New stories from what's been torn. We'll hammer nails and patch this life. We'll mend our town with sweat and drive. When the clouds roll back and the day is born, we stand in blue sky after the storm. Years from now we'll tell our kids about the time the wild wind hit. We'll say it shook us to the core, but we loved each other even more. So let the weather do its worst, we've already rehearsed how to cling to what is true when everything else gets blown from view. You and me and these little hands are stronger than this shaky land. Every storm will come and go, but hope's a home we'll always know. Blue sky after the storm, that's where our forever's born. That's where our forever's born.
Gravel spitting underneath these tires, moon hiding behind the wires, headlights carving out a path through memories of a crooked past. Mama's call still in my ear, drive safe son, we want you here. Been gone too long on borrowed time, running hard from my own mind. Lanterns on the long road home, little lights saying you're not alone. Every porch glow in the distance feels like mercy in the distance. I've been lost in city neon chrome, but tonight, following a softer glow, one by one those lights are shown. Lanterns on the long road home, past the creek where we used to fish. Heard my brothers laugh and the wind soft hiss. Saw the old barn roof in the dark, like a shadow guarding my heart. I remember leaving with a slam, saying I'm done with this nowhere land. Now I'd give anything I own for one more dinner by that stove. Funny how a man can break, then find the courage to retrace. Oh, lanterns on the long road home, swinging slow by the driveway stones. Daddy set 'em out, that's how I know he's still waiting in that dim warm glow. I used to curse this gravel zone, but now it feels like sacred loam, where every humble flame has grown into lanterns on the long road home. I pull up slow, engine quiet, heart pounding like a small town riot. Door swings open, mama cries, tears like stars in her weathered eyes. Daddy grips me, doesn't speak, just shakes his head and kisses my cheek. In that silence I understand, hope had always held my hand. It burned in letters left unread, prayers beside an empty bed. It led me back through all I'd known, like lanterns on the long road home. Lanterns on the long road home. Love's the light that never's blown.
Hardware store still opening at 9. Same old bell on the dusty front sign. Lucy's Diner's got the coffee on, even when the crowds are gone. Football field lights Friday night, even if the score don't go just right. Folks still stand and bow their heads for every anthem that gets said. Small town still believes in Sunday hymns and autumn leaves, and showing up with a covered dish when somebody's world goes to pieces. We might be broke, we might be tired, but our front porch lights stay wired through every heartbreak, death, and dream. This small town still believes. High school kid in a hand-me-down truck, chasing the tail of his old city, chase some pay. But I know if my big plans fail, I'll find my heart on this same trail. Lucy will pour me a steaming cup, say, child, don't you ever give up. In that moment, I'll clearly see they kept their faith alive for me. Small town still believes, and that's enough to carry me.
Alarm clock rings before the dawn, coffee in a chipped old mug shirt thrown on. Lays up boots by the back door, Mac, gonna face the world, can't stay flat. Rent is due and the truck needs gas, but I've been broke and I've been last. Still I swing these legs off the bed, walk on fears I've always fed. Boot steps toward a better day, one small stride at a time. Come what may, might not change the whole world spin, but I can change the way I begin. Every creak in this hallway floor is me not hiding anymore. Hope ain't loud, it's quiet this way, and boot steps toward a better day. Boss man's temper and a busted wrist, shifts run late and breaks get missed. But I keep humming some stubborn tune, like a wildflower under harvest moon. I see my face in the bathroom glass, eyes more tired but built to last. I tell myself, keep showing up as I rinse more doubt from this coffee cup. Some dreams don't come in fireworks, they come in steady, sweaty work. Boot steps toward a better day, through overtime and underpay. Every no that shuts a door pushes me to knock on more. These scars on my hands and knees sing a rough cut melody of faith that will not fade away. And boot steps toward a better day. One morning I'll unlock a door with my own name hanging over the floor. Tell my kids it started small, just lacing boots and giving my all. I don't know how the story ends, if I'll be rich or just content. But I do know this simple truth, strong tomorrow starting on his boots. So I'll keep walking through the doubt, step by step I'll figure it out. And when I'm old I look back and say, hope walk with me all the way. Boot steps toward a better day. Yeah, that's my kind of country praise.
I packed my bag by the bedroom door, ticket printed hard unsure. City lights calling from a billboard dream. promising more than these dusty seams. Mama tried to hide her eyes. Daddy said, son, you've gotta try. But when I stepped out to say goodbye, the whole field answered with a sigh. Wind through the wheat says stay. Golden heads leaning as they sway, like 1,000 hands that reach my way, begging me not to run today. I hear that rustling in my chest, like this old land knows me best. Every time I start to drift away, wind through the wheat says stay. I'll walk the line by the old fence wire, boots kicking dust, heart on fire. Half of me hungry for something new, half of me tied to this weathered view. Corn silo shadows stretching tall, swallowing up my restless calls. I swear I heard my childhood laugh bouncing down that gravel path. Sometimes the loudest voice you hear is a quiet breeze in your own ear. Wind through the wheat says stay, whispering don't throw this away. This simple life and these open skies hold more treasure than city lights. I thought success meant far from here, but roots grow deep through every fear. When I turn around and face this clay, wind through the wheat says stay. I tore that ticket right in two, texted my friend I'm staying due. Maybe I'll fail, maybe I'll thrive, but I'll be here fully alive. Years from now, if my kids ask why I never chased that downtown sky, I'll take their hands and let them feel that same soft wind and spinning wheels. I'll tell them, listen when life is loud, to the gentle pull beneath the sound. Sometimes hope's not far away, it's in the field that says please stay. Wind through the wheat says stay, and for once I listened that day.
Gaslight blinking on the dash, wallet thin as broken glass. Kids asleep in the backseat dark, wife trying hard to hide her heart. We've been chasing shifts and borrowed time, stacking bills like crooked lines. Every prayer feels worn and frayed, but I still bow my head and say,
give me one more mile of faith, one more straight
stretch of believing grace, even when the road looks rough. Let me trust that you're enough.
I don't need the finish line, just enough light to see this time, to drive this battered, rusty Wraith one more mile of faith. Job fell through like the one before. Sorry man, we're cutting more. I drove home in a silent scream, trying not to crush her dreams. But when I told her, she just smiled, held my face like I'm still her child. Said we've made it through worse than this. We've got love and we've got this. Sometimes hope sounds like her voice saying, baby, we still have a choice. One more mile of faith, one more step past this ache. We might bend, but we won't break if we keep going for love's sake. And I don't see the whole road yet, but I'll take each breath as a gift. With her hand on mine, I'll chase one more mile of faith.
One more mile of faith.
Someday I'll stand on steadier ground, look back at all these twists around. I'll thank the nights I thought I'd drown, that taught me how not to bow down. When my kids are all grown tall, facing their own hopeless walls, I'll tell them about these broken years, how we drove through doubt and tears. I'll say you don't need every clue, just enough hope to make it through. When you feel you can't go on, ask for one more mile at dawn.
One more mile of faith.
That's how we made it all the way.
One more mile of faith. One more mile of faith. One more mile of faith.
One more mile of faith. Winter hung on like a bad mistake. Frozen ground, nothing left to take. Fence post buried to the top. Every plan came to a stop. Sky was steel, wind was knives. Hope felt thin as last year's vines.
I walked that line with numb cold feet, as if I lost my right to be.
Snow melting off the fence line, drop by drop in its own time. White fades back to dirt and green, slowest miracle I've ever seen. I thought this season never end, but I'm starting to feel my heart again. Every little drip is a holy sign. Snow melting off the fence line.
Bills piled up like drifts out back. Layoff hit like a midnight crack. Friends went quiet when times got tight. Lost my shine, lost my fight, but
You kept coffee on at 4 and left me barefoot at the door. You said, baby, this too shall pass.
we ain't made of brittle glass. I didn't feel it then. I know the love was thawing through the snow.
Snow melting off the fence line, minutes turning into we'll be fine. Tiny rivers through the mud. carrying away what never was. I thought we'd freeze and what we'd done, but we still woke up to the sun. Life comes back when it's good in time. Snow melting off the fence line. Someday when our heads are gray, we'll sip coffee and watch a day where winter tries its hardest game. But we remember we outlive the same. Now I see green where ice once bit, small brave shoots where despair once hid. The cows are back by the broken rail, our laughter loud as a springtime gale. Hope didn't crash in like a flood.
It came in drops of melting good,
Quiet, patient, steady kind, like snow melting off the fence line. Snow melting off the fence line,
slow,
but always right on time.
slow.
Snow melting off the fence line. Every night around the same old time, that porch light flickers on the pines. Mama twists that little switch like a prayer in her fingertips. Truck's been gone for 3 long years since I left in a storm of tears. Didn't call, didn't send a word, too ashamed of what she heard. Porch light that never went out, beacon through my wandering doubt. No matter how lost I felt in the dark, there was a glow calling my heart. I ran from love and from myself, buried my name on a stranger's shelf. But one small bulb kept shining loud, that porch light that never went out. Heard from a friend she'd gotten sick, news hit hard and heavy quick. I paced the city apartment floor, stared at my boots by the door. Ticket bought, no turning back, I rode that bus down broken tracks. All the way I fought my shame, whispered slowly through her name. God, if she still wants me near, let that light be burning clear. Porch light that never went out, burning soft, steady and stout. When the bus pulled up, I saw it there, halo in the country air. She stood wrapped in an old house coat, thin and frail but full of hope. That one small bulb killed all my doubt. Her porch light never went out. She said, son, you can't outrun my love, or the good Lord watching from above. You can fall as far as you think you can, but you'll still land in my open hands. Now when night comes and my kids roam, I flip that switch outside our home. I know someday they'll lose their way, same as I did in my day. But I'll keep burning through the fear, let them know I'm always here. Hope will glow without a shout, like a porch light that never went out. Porch light that never went out. That's how love keeps pulling us out. paint a stripe, blue and gold where the dark turns light. Coyotes fading into distant hills, dew on the grass like 1,000 thrills. I saddle up as the world turns warm, shake the dust from a jaded storm. Last night's worries fall behind as the dawn redraws my mind. New day on the western sky, burning soft where the wild geese fly. All my failures from yesterday lose their teeth in this rising blaze. I may not know what's coming next, but I'll ride out with a steady chest, 'cause hope comes streaking broad and high with a new day on the western sky. In a busted gate, another bill, another way. But the way that sunlight hits this land reminds me I'm in bigger hands. The wind smells sweet of sage and pine, like a hymn without a line. Sometimes that's the only church I need to mend this cowboy hurt. I breathe it in and let it fill every crack the night may chill. New day on the western sky, streaks of fire where the dark would lie, giving me one more chance to choose to see the gain instead of lose. I ain't perfect, I ain't wise, but I'm still here under these skies. As long as that sun still dares to rise, there's a new day on the western sky. One day when my hands grow weak and my stories take all week to speak, I'll sit out here and watch the glow, knowing I rolled the days I was given to know. So here's to the ranchers and the broken hearts, to the ones who've lost and still take part. Every dawn's a handshake from above, saying get back up, you're still beloved. I'll keep my faith in this big blue roof, where clouds and mercy share the proof of a God who paints a hopeful sign on every brand new western line. New day on the western sky, that's enough to keep me trying.
Log snaps softly in the old stone pit, shadows dance where the children sit. Marshmallows on crooked sticks, stories traded in gentle clips. Out beyond, the world's on fire, news feeds stoking fear and ire. But right here where the crickets sing, I feel a smaller, stronger thing. Fire glow and quiet hope, tiny flames that help us cope. We can't fix the whole wide world tonight, but we can hold each other in this light. Whispers under stars that know every tear we've ever sown. Peace doesn't need to scream or boast. It lives in fire glow and quiet hope. You lean your head upon my chest.
Say, honey, I'm so damn stressed.
Bills, layoffs, rumors, doubt, all the noise we can't tune out. I kiss your hair and stir the coals, watch the embers find their roles. Little sparks that won't give in, like our hearts through thick and thin. Maybe the bravest choice we make is to breathe together while we shake. Fire glow and quiet hope, slow songs from a banjo's throat. I strum a chord, the kids hum along, soft off-key little country song. We don't know how this ends or when, but we know we'll try again. Love's not big speeches or bold quotes, it's fire glow and quiet hope. Someday when they're grown and gone, they'll think of nights like this at dawn,
When the world felt way too much, but we calmed it with a simple touch.
so pile another log on slow. Let the outside chaos go. Here in this ring of orange and gold, we remember what we hold. Faith that tomorrow finds a way. Even if we stumble today, as long as hearts stay soft and close, we'll live on fire glow and quiet hope.
That's where our little world stays afloat. That's where our little world stays afloat.
Last night felt like the final round. Empty bottles, heavy sound. Sat there staring at the wall, thinking I'd finally lost it all. Job went south, friends went too. Fear came knocking right on cue. But somewhere in that midnight haze, I heard a whisper through the craze. Still standing in the morning sun, after all the damage that's been done. I might be bruised, I might be scarred, but I'm still beating, broken heart. Didn't think I'd see this sky, didn't think I'd feel this high. To wake and find the darkness run and be still standing in the morning sun. Coffee steaming in a chipped up cup, hands still shaky but I stand up. Bare feet on a cold floor plane, breathing slow, a silent thing. Window open to a soft bird song, world keeps rolling right along. I realize I'm still right here, didn't vanish with the fear. Sometimes victory is not a roar, it's just getting up off the floor. Still standing in the morning sun, after thinking I was done. I'm not the hero of some tale, I'm just a soul who didn't bail. Light spills in through cracked blinds, paints gold lines told. Hold on through the darkest night, 'cause you're closer than you think to life. I'll shave this face and wash my hair, clean this room, say a simple prayer. Take one small step outside my door, step two, step three, then maybe more. I won't pretend it's easy now, but every dawn will teach me how to keep on walking when I've come undone. Still standing in the morning sun. Still standing in the morning sun. Still standing in the morning sun. That's how I know I haven't lost, I've just begun.